Good morning, West in the world. Welcome to your review video for Tuesday, November the 5th, following our discussion this morning of the book Abina and the Important Men. Class was, of course, quite different this morning in that there was no traditional survey lecture looking at major themes to develop, but rather we concentrated on a discussion of the major issues in the book Abina and the Important Men. And I just want to summarize a few of those points that we stressed in class this morning. The first thing we talked about was the actual construction of the narrative within the book. Is this, or in what sense, is this a true story, and in what sense is this an imagined response or an imagined interpretation? Within that, we emphasized the notion of deconstruction, the process by which scholars, especially historians, take apart a text, reading it with the grain and against the grain, to try to understand not just what the author of a text, any text, wants us to hear, but also what hidden messages we can derive by careful question asking as we read. After that, we turned our attention more to the issues that dominated the papers you wrote, talking specifically about how Abina's story helps us understand the intersection of, well, British culture and Ashanti culture, but more widely this Western intersection of cultures all around the world, because Abina's story, we learned, illustrates processes that are happening in many places. And here we talked about the influence of Western ideologies like liberalism, that on the one hand feed the desire of the British to abolish slavery, but exists somehow in a tension with the demands of industrialization, which needs the palm oil products of West Africa to run its machinery. Products that are most easily accessed or most efficiently produced using unfree labor within these African contexts. We talked about the themes of paternalism and the idea of the civilizing mission. What do the British believe that they are doing when they see someone like Abina and they deal with her case? We talked about how, in Abina's case, the end result of the intersection of all of these ideas is the failure of her case to attain its goal, to secure a verdict of enslavement, or of guilty for the charge of enslavement against Kwamina Edu, because the two worldviews simply could not be reconciled. On Thursday, we're going to continue exploring those worldviews and exploring the ways in which they intersect, as we turn our attention to imperialism in its modern form as it breaks out at the end of the 19th century. See you on Thursday.